What's up guys, Freddy Fishfinger here, and I am bringing you some Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire OU on Showdown, and I'm using Mega Metagross. Now, please forgive me if I say Mega Gross. I've been doing that in previous attempts to record this, and it's screwing with my mind, and there's a couple other things which I stuffed up, but the point is, I'm not doing live, I'm doing a replay battle because the battle ended really well. Showed off this set the exact way I wanted it to, so it's okay, it all works out. Still, this is the set I'm running. Agility, Zen Headbutt, Meteor Mash, these two stabs. Agility to just abuse his speed entirely. Earthquake because it's probably the best move to fill out the set. Finally, we go for this particular spread. This is one that I came up with myself. Feel free to use it. It's up to you guys. I probably can't find out if you are using it, to be completely honest. Even still, I go for maximum attack. And that's just so this thing can hit as hard as possible, because other than getting a attack boost from Meteor Mash, I don't think Metagross can actually boost its attack. Now, furthermore, the speed is invested to the point where you can abuse agility and outspeed everything in the entire metagame. This set lets you outspeed Sandrush Excadrill. That is the fastest thing in the metagame at this point, to my understanding. It beats Choice Scarf, anything. I think the only thing I didn't look for is like Choice Scarf Deoxys speed, which I don't think you can even run. I think that's Uber's. So, then the HP is basically what was not needed in speed, and then the 4 in special defense is just so we can keep an odd investment in HP. Now I'm going to go through the rest of the team really quickly. Standard Ferrothorn with Shed Shell, blah blah blah, you guys can see that. Choice Scarf Landorus, nothing special. Conkeldurr with Assault Vest, nothing special. Gengar with a Focus Sash, nothing special. Tentacruel, this is another set I came up with by myself. This allows it to kill off Excadrill with Hydro Pump, because my team doesn't particularly like Excadrill, so I thought if I get rid of that and have a Rapid Spinner at the same time, I'll be doing well. So that's essentially what this is. Hydro Pump with this 232 special attack kills off Excadrill. This lets me outspeed anything but Sandrush boosted and Choice Scarf Excadrill, which isn't too common at the moment. Liquid Ooze because it's the best ability Tentacruel has outside of Rain, so I figured, hey, let's go with that. It also screws with Ferrothorn, which is quite nice. Then the 116 lets me take a Brave Bird from Talonflame as long as it's not Choice Banded. So that's the entire set, and that's the entire team. So let's just get into the battle. As you guys can see, Metagross did finish it off, which is brilliant and what we want. So I'll hit instant replay, and looking at my opponent's team, I wasn't too concerned with what they were leading with, as I wanted to lead with my Choice Scarf Landorus. Seeing the fake out on the first turn didn't worry me, and I wasn't too worried about the Ice Punch, because I would outspeed the Lopunny, then swap out. So even though my opponent did bring in the Ferrothorn, got a little bit of chip damage, I did bring in Tentacruel for free, and this let me just bring in Tentacruel. I was hoping my opponent would hit me up with a Leech Seed, that's why I went for Ice Beam. In hindsight, I probably should have gone for the Giga Drain straight off, predicting the Rotom Wash. Even still, I do get a nice amount of damage off on the Rotom Wash, who cannot kill me. That's the Assault Vest basically ensures that I will whittle down the Rotom Wash as much as, if not more, than it can whittle me with the Giga Drain combination. The best it can do is burn me. As you can see, super effective Volt Switch did about 34, and I think that means it's actually running some sort of special attack investment, probably for Mega Salamence. Either way, I wanted to be able to kill off the Landorus with an Ice Beam. Unfortunately, it turns out to be Choice Scarf. That's okay, because I know what it is for the rest of the game. Knocking off my Shed Shell's not a big deal. I set up rocks. The reason why it's not a big deal is my opponent's not running a Trapper. So that allowed me to just get away with it. Unfortunately, I didn't predict the Ferrothorn to come in. I should have in hindsight, but he sets up Spikes, which works in my favor because now I can go for a Superpower for free. Best thing my opponent can do is bring in like a Landorus or the Sylveon at this stage. So I bring in Ferrothorn, because the Ferrothorn will not be appreciated by either of them, and then predicting him to go straight back out into Ferrothorn and avoid my Leech Seed, I go into my Landorus. Works out because my opponent locks himself into Earthquake, as now I can go for a Superpower, predicting him to have to go out. Superpower hits my opponent the best, and I kill off the Rotom, which works beautifully. Then my opponent brings in the Lopunny, and I know I outspeed this thing because of the Choice Scarf, and I think my opponent predicts me to be Scarf because I was happy to stay in on the turn before and go for a U-turn, as opposed to risk the Ice Punch, which was a good play, because here I had nothing really which I really wanted to bring in against the against my opponent's Landorus, so I sacked mine off. In comes the Lopunny, and I was really predicting him to go for the Fake Out, and then follow it up with the high jump kick. But I guess he was more concerned about not avoiding as much damage from the Iron Bars as possible. So I bring in Conkeldurr. The Mach Punch is so obvious that I go for Ice Punch for the Sylveon on the Landorus. As he reveals the Wish, I brought in Gengar, and I really wish that... Wish, because he used Wish. No, I really wanted to go for the Shadow Ball or Focus Blast in hindsight, but I had the Sylveon out there. I wanted to go for the Sludge Wave. So on this turn, after I get my Focus Blast off, I don't want to be whittling down with Leech Seed damage, especially since I predicted the Protect. So I go out into Conkeldurr, and with this, I'm able to go for the Drain Punch, which is fine on the Sylveon, considering the amount of damage it did. Lets me put it in range of an Ice Punch after the leftovers. Unfortunately, the Protect comes in, and now I'm probably in range of a roll of Ice Punch killing off, so I go for it again as my opponent brings out Ferrothorn, and this is fine, because after the Drain Punch on the Ferrothorn here, I kill it off, and I'm about the same HP as I was prior to hitting it. So that worked out reasonably well. Then the Lopunny comes in, Fake Out, that's a given. The Mach Punch is just the best option I have, even though I could predict the Landorus to come in. It's just the better play because I don't have to risk being killed. So at this stage, my opponent goes for Knock Off because he can't kill me, and then I go for the Drain Punch. Either way, whether he got critted on the previous Mach Punch wouldn't have mattered because I could go for Ice Punch. This health does nothing for me. I go for the Mach Punch, which puts Greninja in range of the Metagross, killing it. And unfortunately, I do kill off the Greninja because he missed that Hydro Pump. That was actually the wrong play in hindsight, because by leaving that Greninja alive, I can bring in Metagross and set up on it. Assuming he doesn't have Dark Pulse, I set up on it really well. If he does have Dark Pulse, I can still set up. So to win now, I had to send in Gengar as fodder. That way I could bring in Metagross without having to worry about Fake Out, and I could set up an Agility here. By setting up an Agility here, I ensure that I outspeed the Lopunny, and either way I was going to outspeed the Sylveon and kill off with a Meteor Mash. So at this stage, all I had to do was worry about not missing the Zen Headbutt or the Meteor Mash. It was in my favor to not miss, so I do end up hitting the Zen Headbutt and killing off the Lopunny. So this was a really close battle down to the wire. My opponent played his team or her team really well. I thought I played my team pretty well. There were maybe one or two plays which we could have changed, but this really did show off Metagross or Mega Metagross. I'm so focused on not saying Meta Megagross. So, Mega Metagross with Agility, like I said, it outspeeds the entire tier, so you won't need any priority because of that, as long as you can ensure you get rid of your opponent's Pokemon with priority. Getting up hazards is really helpful for Metagross because it doesn't have ways of setting up its attack other than getting Meteor Mash boosts. So if you run a team with Agility Metagross, or even without, probably hazards are the best way to go. Force as many switches as you can. Try stop Wish Passing and stuff like that. And then you end up sweeping at the end once you get enough chip damage off. After you get an Agility, like I said, you outspeed the entire tier. So quick recap on the set. There's the Tentacruel. The Metagross. 188, you outspeed the entire tier. Maximum attack, and then the rest in HP. So this is how I run it. You can find out a different variant if you're not too worried about Jolly Sandrush Excadrill, but this is as good as you're going to get, because you're only going to get a little bit more HP if you want, I reckon. So, I don't know, this is how I'm running it, this is what worked for me, and that's about it. So leave a like if you enjoyed, that would be greatly appreciated. Freddy Fishfinger, out.